All right, there it is. Now.
All right, then. All right. Once again, I want to say, have a camera work here. We'll probably, just like our bodies and stuff, you know, equipment get that way too. You have to kind of fine tune it there, you know, let cars break down and all things there. So I think we're back up and going here now. So we got everything together there, and I want to welcome all our listeners in, and I think we was on there speaking.
Yeah,
You just
but
didn't
it's,
see us right. But, so we move forward and we're doing those things there. God will definitely bless us, and especially getting acquainted with the true God. And we go to Psalm 68:4. Very important. See, it says, sing to God, sing praises to his name, extol him who rides on the clouds, by his name, Yah, and be glad in his presence. See, God requires something of us, as we require something of him, and those things there, and it will work out if we get the relationship right. See, people run around and holler about, I've got a special relationship. Well, is it a relationship that he said, or is it a relationship that you are trying to promote? See, God don't respond to a relationship we trying to promote. You know that, right? And it's because we ain't wise enough to know the proper relationship. That's the problem. Like I said, parents do that with their children. See? You have a good relationship with them as long as you give them sweets, ice cream, cake, and stuff like that. But that ain't good for them. And so you have to tell them, no, you can't have this. No, you can't do this. Then you got to eat some more of this other. I don't want none of those vegetables. I saw a commercial, they had a commercial for the little girl. She's sitting there to me. She said, well, we're going to be a long time before I eat them vegetables. Huh? Yeah. Okay. They gave us some vegetables that was good tasting to her, you know, and faked out there and everything. And so she gulped it up there, you know. And so, but we as parents got to be wiser than children. So God is wiser than us. Mm-hmm. He knows what relationship we need. See? And he sets the criteria, not the other way around. Mm-hmm. And therefore he says here, extol him by his name, Yah, who we have upon our banner truth here. Why? That's his name. And then he says, and be glad in his presence. Not only that there, but he lets us know who he identifies himself. Because like I said, a lot of people can identify themselves and say all this stuff they want to say and all that. But y'all ain't going wrong with that. You say, well, that's Yah's that old God of the Old Testament. But do you know what? If they say Jesus, if we talk about the same man there, they said the Mashiach, the Messiah, he ain't like that. He's love and he's there. Well, he said there gonna be many come to him. And say, Lord, see, we done did this, or we done did that, we done did this in your name, and he gonna say, what he gonna say? I never do. That's right. Never do it. I ain't got no relationship with you like that. That was your idea. See? That was none of my idea. And that's the scary part of that part. He didn't say, well, I knew you one time and you fell out and you know. He said, I never. Look, that's scary. I mean, that's scary me. Yeah, these folks, and these folks don't lazy folks either.
Okay. That means we never had a chance. And he said, I never knew you.
Yeah. And well, you don't have to believe me because my say then, hey, you come over with your own story, but I'll come over with my story is because their relationship with him was not according to his plan. It was according to what their plan. And there's a bunch of them out there that way. And even I can see this, and I ain't got all that full insight on what God got, and I can see that they never with it. So how much more him? Dear folks, you better get those things right. You know, I keep telling you, our God is not desperate.
Amen.
He's not desperate. Somehow we got this idea that God is desperate, but he's not. His son come along and verify that God ain't desperate. He said, if y'all want, if you dust won't do what I want, God can raise up rocks.
That's right.
I said that's a God that ain't desperate. Here he says here, the earthquake and rain forth from the sky at the presence of God. Even Sinai shook at the presence of God. The God of Israel. That's our God. But I don't like the God of Israel. I like the God of so-and-so. But I don't like that. Well, you in trouble. That's his claim. And you start disliking, well, he's gonna claim and everything there. Hey, who's gonna be the loser?
You are.
That's right. He said, well, ain't nobody stupid enough to be like that. They got billions of people, thousands of people that are stupid enough.
Yeah.
I don't want to have nothing to do with that no God of Israel. I
Maybe the wrong choice.
That's right. Yeah, folks, we better make sure we get this thing in the right sense, because if we don't, we're gonna find out. And that comes from the factor of making sure that you got all these things in line. See? Just knowing who he is and all those things there ain't good enough. You gotta know what's required of you. As a matter of fact, we're gonna talk a little bit about that today. You know, something is required of us. People are like, oh, I'm Israel, I'm black, I got this, I got the blood, and they think that's the end of it. Isaiah 43, 10 through 12. You are my witness, says Adonai, and my servant whom I have chosen, so that you can know and trust me and understand that I am he. That's a requirement, dear folks. And God ain't gonna change from that. I was looking at TDJ. Yeah, he was on. He was looking at TDJ. he was talking about people getting into a routine and doing this and doing that and all that. Change it up! He told me. Change it up! I don't have to do the same old thing over and over again and over things again. That's what's wrong with folk right now. It's okay for certain people.
Mm-hmm.
You want somebody to change your name? I'm asking you that.
No.
You want somebody to change your name?
No.
But I don't feel like calling you. Check you out. I don't feel like calling you Matthew today. I think I'm gonna call you Jim Bob, or I'm gonna call you Richard or something. How's it gonna fit?
Well, I'm not gonna answer.
Well, you say Jim, but you answer.
No, you know, I'm gonna change it up thing.
Changing nothing.
So all these things don't fit, you know, and what he was digging at and all that, you know, he's digging at the commandments and those things there and everything else. And it's funny how they'll all jump about us, talk about the seventh day. And they'll how about all change until you ask them, well, how come you ain't changed on the first day of the week?
Is that what he was talking about last night?
Huh?
Is that what he was talking about last night?
Well, you indicate that in there.
Yeah, I thought I heard him, but you know, but I went on, you know,
You was
for
having
the
to
movie.
Yeah, but I got enough suggested that there before I put him off to the side. I said, I hadn't heard enough.
So he doing all that trembling.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they enjoying it.
Yeah. It's funny how any day will do.
Mm-hmm.
Any day will do. Any day can be the Sabbath. You know, and then, yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with you kicking and all like that. And then when you say, okay, I'm going to pick so and so, not Sunday, then you got a problem.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's a problem. Satan, he thinks he's clever, and he is clever. See? But if we stick with Yah, he's not clever enough. He's not going to do it, the master. Isaiah 44:6-8. Thus says Adonai, Israel's King and Redeemer, Adonai Zebaoth, I am the first and I am the last. Besides me, there is no God. Who is like me? Let him speak out. Let him show me clear what has been happening. Since I set up eternal people, always interested in being eternal people. That's what I'm interested in.
Amen.
Hey, just by that word, eternal. Hey,
There you go.
oh yeah.
But there are rules and regulations, there are requirements and everything there that become that people. Let him foretell future signs and events. Here's what it says. Don't be frightened, don't be afraid. Didn't I tell you this long ago? I foretold it, and you are my witnesses. Is there any God besides me? Israel, is there any God besides our God?
No.
I know not any.
Israel, is there any God besides our God?
No.
I know not any.
He said, is there any God besides me? He said, there is no other rock.
I know of none.
And if our God will know any, what in the world we doing running around here hollering about the secret mystery and all that? What do you know about? What do we know about the secret mystery and all that stuff? Nothing is a mystery to y'all.
Right.
We better get those things right and get those things under control that it might be well with us. If not, because it's going to be just like the Father set forth those things. The Son came along and he bragged about a certain thing. And if you don't know what he was bragging about, see, you need to learn that. It's all through the New Testament. All through there. I thought we ain't supposed to brag and boast and everything. He did.
Depends on what you brag.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he taught them that all along. We go to John 8:42. He was talking to some religious folks. He was talking to them. He was in discussion talking with the highly religious guys, you know what I'm saying? I mean, these guys are really, yeah. And here, God, he says, Yeshua replied to them, if God was your father, you would love me. Why? And this is what he boasts about. Because I came out from God. He bragged about that. He boasted about that. Yeah. They want to make him God himself. No, he said, no, I came out from him. That's what he boasted about. See, Satan don't care what you do, just as long as you got it wrong, just as long as you missed the mark. He don't care about it. You say, well, no, there's a difference between him being the Father and him coming out from the Father. There's a world of difference in that. But he got thousands of people thinking that we're wrong and that they're right. See? But I'm going to stick with what the man says. I'm going to stick with what he said. And he boasted about that many times. He says here, and as a matter of fact, he was talking to them, they're supposed to be knowing and bragging about who they was and everything. He said, well, if you were like what you think you would love me. Because I came out from God, and now I have arrived here. I did not come on my own. He sent me.
And see, they didn't want to hear that.
They didn't want to hear that. Because he knows what the next thing they're going to do when they do it. You don't like what I got to say. And I'm an ambassador. I'm sent. See? They didn't like it. But nevertheless, that don't change the thing. He says here, why don't you understand what I'm saying? Because you can't bear to listen to my message. That's why he said, huh?
John 8:42.
Yeah, right. I'm reading John 43 now.
Okay.
Yeah, 40. Because you can't bear to listen to my message. You belong to your father, all right. You got a father, all right. Satan. and you want to carry out your father's desire. Jesus never called him, people get mad if you call him a devil, Ooh, you call me a devil. Oh, boy, he didn't get up. But then see, they understand that he did. He called all of them devils. Ain't that what that's what I'm reading here. Yeah. He said, you belong to your father, Satan. And if Satan is your father, then that means that's what you are, who you is. You're Satan. From the start, he was a murderer, and he has never stood for the truth, because there is no truth in him. Those that worship him must worship him in the spirit and in truth. You can't just take one and leave the other one alone. You gotta have them both. Therefore, to be pleasing in his sight, that's what it's gonna take. Here's another thing. He said, but you are liars. And we go to John 14:28, and we see one of the most damning Christian doctrine that prevails is one that calls him a lie. And they want the answer to that. That's John 14:28. You heard me tell you, I am leaving, and I will come back to you. If you love me, you would have been glad that I'm going to the Father. That's another thing you have a problem with. It's how you going to the Father when you is the Father? He didn't say that I'm going to be the Father. He said, I'm going to the Father, who I came out from. Because the Father is greater than I. And they even get on that and say, no, that ain't. The Trinity said that Jesus is God the Father, He's God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost. All three on the same level. Not one different than the other.
So they say he was 100% man and 100% God.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Holy Ghost now.
So when he died, the whole world was without God for 3 days.
Oh, ain't no doubt about that.
According to what they say.
I'm wondering now who raised him.
Yourself.
It had to be.
Who was he talking to and said, Father, Father, why do you have to say that? Yourself.
Well, see, I think they use that scripture, he said he got power to lay it down and he got power.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. Yeah. And what they don't understand was what he was talking about. He's saying that he had the power to go ahead on through and let that happen, or he had the power to resist it. Just like we all have the power to follow God or not to follow. And he showed that. He said, nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. I'm choosing your will above what I want to do.
Right.
Dear folks, I feel sorry for some of the folks, because like I said, they ain't got a hope, they ain't got a chance from this.
They don't want to change it.
All that stuff they don't do in their thing, and he's gonna say, I never knew. That's scary, dear folks. If there's any time or time that one should be self-examining himself and trying and testing the spirits and testing all these things to make sure you got something solid, that's what we should be doing. But if not, we're going to be the losers on that end now. So let us follow through on what God has said. Go forth on those things there. Because I'm just a time is running out. Men time is running out. See? For him, running things and doing things. See? God's kingdom is on the brink. And we can see that now with all these isms and all these other things that's going on. All these, and it's kind of funny how all these countries and everything there, they all having trouble with their leaders and they all having trouble with, and their government is in bad shape and all those things. Mankind and their isms is running out. You better make sure that we're with the right one. All right, we're gonna have our Israel update by Shemaz Adam ben Israel. Come forth in the
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We started by talking about a little bit about the virus. Here in the United States, last week they recorded almost 100,000 virus a day. 100,000
Man.
a day.
Is that in the United States or worldwide?
No, the United States.
United States.
Oh, just the United States.
Did y'all see him talking? It was 28 or 38 police guys.
Yeah.
Man.
He ain't talking.
yeah, one died.
Yeah.
Yeah, one guy.
Yeah. Never woke up.
Yeah, they had 500,000 cases. That was last week. And Trump saying he's lining the curve.
Yeah, right.
In all them cases, man, he gonna say, you know, that they lining the curve, and the White House is declaring victory. But
They believe that.
they can't believe that. I don't know what's wrong with them. But Wednesday, there was 88,000. And Thursday, there was 90,000 per day. And Thursday, there was 1,049 deaths. And they averaging almost 1,000 deaths a day.
Oh, man.
And you know, it was, you know, going down. But Trump having all the rallies,
Yeah.
you know, and just spread it. I believe he really believing in that herd immunity.
Yeah.
For everybody to get it, you know, and the ones don't die, they be immune to it.
Yeah.
You know, the way he's doing it.
Yeah.
One American die every 110 seconds, 107 seconds. One American die. In the United States, there were over 230,000 cases, 230,000 deaths. It's surpassed 230,000. I sure is. I was talking to my wife about that, and you can take that AT&T Stadium down in Dallas, and you can fill it 3 times. That's how many people can die because that stadium holds 80-some thousand people.
Man.
And that's 3 stadiums full.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
It is. It is. Ugh.
And also, in Israel, their cases went down a little bit. Went down 1.8%. Went down 1.8%. They say that's the lowest it's been since June. But in Europe and Russia, they're really catching it. You know, theirs is going up. In Italy, all of them countries like that, India, Brazil, all of them is their cases is way over.
So that lockdown do help.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just wearing the mask help.
Right.
And Israel, now got in trouble because he locked them down.
And you see the result is panning out.
Yeah, I was looking at Trump rally and that lady on Fox, Laura Ingram.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She was at the rally there and he said, where's Hillary? Where's Hillary? There she is. You mean she got a mask on? Yeah, she had a mask on.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, yeah, she had a mask on. Hey,
You know,
I bet you didn't pull it off.
you know, those people, like you say, those people can't be that stupid.
no,
If you just follow the rallies, where you then go and then check
yeah,
a couple of days later after you've been there and see that you get a spike.
yeah.
Right.
That ain't no rocket science to be able to see that.
Right.
In North Dakota and South Dakota,
Yeah.
they really catching it.
Mhm.
Only because they had 250,000 motorcyclists up there.
Mhm.
None of them wearing masks.
Man,
Now they really catching it.
Mhm.
probably some of them died.
Yeah, they catching. Now the mayor saying that we're gonna start wearing masks.
Oh,
But and also that the drug that Trump used, they halting it on people that's got the virus serious.
Mhm.
The one that's on
reservoir.
the ones that's on ventilators and seriously ill.
Mhm.
They're gonna stop using it on them, but they're gonna keep using it on people that's not really on the breathing machines and need oxygen. They're gonna keep using it on them. But just like I heard that one place they got to cut back on the medicine they're using,
Yeah.
and they're gonna start treating the younger people and let the old people die.
Yeah, I heard that. Lord, now that's something.
Yeah, they say that they're gonna really have to do that. To cut back.
That's sad.
So, and I guess we catch it, we might have a chance, but,
Man,
yeah, that's what they were saying.
there goes too many of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Sunday, tomorrow, Israel starts that test that they on the vaccine. They start testing it tomorrow.
Mm.
Tomorrow first, and tomorrow.
Right.
They start testing it, and they haven't tested on no humans. They tested on mice, hamsters, rabbits, and pigs. But they say it's no guarantee that it's gonna work. But if it do, they're gonna test it on 80 people,
Mhm.
and then they got to stay in the hospital for 24 hours, and then they let them go home. They got to check back every week.
So on the rats and pigs and stuff, so there's no side effects, right?
No, not on them.
Mm.
But
Okay.
they wondering how it's gonna work on humans.
Human, yeah.
But then if that works on the 80, then they're gonna increase it to 960 in December.
So he might go and pay them 80 people something to be a
Then
guinea pig.
if that 960, if that, works, then they're gonna do 30,000.
Mm.
That they'll do that in April or May.
So do they give a name of it?
No, I didn't give no name,
Mm.
but you probably can find out.
Yeah.
But, and also, Sudan, they joined with the UAE and Bahrain, the Trump's peace deal.
Okay.
Netanyahu
Mhm.
with Israel. And, they say there's 6,285 Sudanese, Sudan people that live in Israel, and they've been waiting to get, their asylum request.
Mm-hmm.
They've been waiting over a decade. Not like the people here, the Spanish people here,
Right.
been waiting, but That's the way they've been doing, and they've been catching because of the COVID, and they can't get treatment, because they don't have insurance and then, and they've been really catching. So, and also, the Iran been hacking hospitals.
Oh, is it Iran? I thought it was Russia.
Yeah, Russia,
Oh,
Russia,
okay.
yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Russia been hacking hospitals. What they're doing, they lock up the computers and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they won't unlock it unless they get some money.
Right.
Unless they pay them.
Right.
So,
Yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah. Yep. But Iran, they did some stuff too. Like the voters, they're attacking the voters. Feeding them with misinformation, getting them scared where they won't go vote. They're
Right.
attacking Democrats.
Yeah.
And I would say Trump, he thinks that he can count on the farmers to back him during this election.
Mm-hmm.
But the farmer said no, because a lot of them, they went bankrupt. A lot of them, they couldn't sell their goods on account of the China, the war, the terrorist thing. And, and a lot of them had to go out of business.
Right.
Okay.
See, I thought Iran want the Democrats to win because they figure like that since Obama was for them, they figured that what's his name? Biden would be for them.
I think it's some of the people in Iran. He probably wasn't the leaders.
Oh, okay.
It's probably somebody else in Iran. And, the farmers, they a lot of them against Trump. He think that, he thought that thinking that he's gonna get all of them, on his side again.
Right.
And also, y'all remember what happened on October 29th, 1995? Somebody didn't think like that, because
Oh,
25 years ago,
the bomber? No.
25 years ago, the assassination of Rabin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, assassination of Isaac Rabin, that Prime Minister of Israel. He was assassinated on kind of giving up land, and, that was back in 95. And also the state of Israel, they're in the most difficult time they ever had been in, because of Netanyahu's plans and stuff, the way he's doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And he's scared for his life.
Oh,
He's been being attacked, yeah. He said, they ignoring me.
So his bodyguard's not doing a good job protecting him?
Right now, all the people I see protesting around his house, boy,
Man.
he can't live right now because, I'm talking about a lot of people like that.
Man.
He's scared, fearing for his life, And they, all the violence in Israel, hatred.
All right.
You want to stay in office, but that's the only thing to say what you want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh, that's like that.
I know, him and his buddy Trump. Yeah, he knows what's gonna happen, if he get out. And he think, I know they don't think the Democrats gonna sit there, all the dirt the Republicans did, and they think the Democrats ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah, they probably gonna stack the court,
Yeah.
That's what they doing.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what I'm saying.
Seems like what you people jump up and down. And the very thing we been doing.
Yeah. And Trump also, he approved of selling F-22 Raptors to Israel.
35.
No. These here raptors,
Oh,
selling to Israel.
oh,
The F-35, he's selling to
yeah,
UAE.
yeah, right.
These raptors, they are precision guided bombs.
Oh.
Now why you want to sell your best to somebody you don't know whether he's gonna be your enemy tomorrow or not? He's selling the United States best to them, to Israel.
You know why he's doing that, don't you?
Now,
Because he's selling the F-35s to
to
the Arabs,
yeah.
and they said, and
So they have a
build
them.
them, they gotta maintain above.
Yeah, above them, yeah,
Right.
I see what's coming up, yeah. Yeah, but, I guess the United States got something better than the F-22 then it is.
Yeah.
They supposed to be above one above them,
You're right.
you know? So those F-22s, they guide themselves and they hit the target. You know, they guide themselves to the target. You know, like if they want to hit something right there, they guide themselves to it. And it don't do a whole lot of damage. It just do it to that target.
Right. Take out what they
Yeah.
supposed to take out.
Yeah. You know, in Israel, there's 54% of the Jews favor Trump. 54%. And 21% favor Biden.
Mm.
So they also it's been 58 million ballots in the early voting, passing all of 2016. And they voted today in Texas, they let me vote today in Texas. And then you still got Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know, in the voting in Texas, then surpassed the thing, is more than voted in Texas than they ever had. They surpassed what they did in all of 2016 in Texas.
Yeah. They said Tulsa, right now, had a big turnout.
Yeah, down into baseball, yeah, I saw that. So let us continue to pray for, everyone pray for our brothers and sisters. And also in Turkey, there was a big earthquake,
Yeah.
you
Oh.
know,
Mm.
Yeah, big one.
28 deaths and over 800 people injured.
Man.
And they still, let this so far.
Right. And when that was yesterday?
I guess yesterday. So that's what I had for the Israel update. Shabbat Shalom.
That's right.
I got something about Georgia. It says Georgia got 385,988 cases. This is in Georgia. 7,955 deaths. And they got, and they getting 1,704 new cases in every 24 hours.
Mm.
And the governor got it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the governor, he got it too. It's Georgia.
So I thought Georgia got a mask mandate, no?
Who?
Georgia.
Something ain't working out for them.
Yeah.
But just because it's a mandate, it
That
doesn't
don't
mean
Right.
mean do it, right?
Yeah.
Just like Tulsa, we have one.
But no, not, oh, yeah,
Tulsa
Tulsa.
does.
Yeah. But
How many
they,
times I can go to every quick trip I can think of, half the workers, they don't even have one. And it's got a big old sign, where
Right.
you enter, get your mask on. They
Right.
don't enforce it.
And it still ain't one in the Walmart. I still see a bunch of people in
It
Walmart.
don't matter where you at, they not doing it.
And
They're
I-
not in, because there's somebody enforcing it.
we see see Byron, the mayor was saying that a lot of patients that's going in the hospital is in other cities. Surrounding cities. And he was saying that they don't have a mask mandate, and that's what,
Yeah,
overcrowded the hospital.
Sand Springs,
Yeah.
Owasso,
I think,
Jeans, they don't have a mask mandate.
Yeah, I know.
But the verdict, but when they have that
Okay,
virus thing, where do you think it will come?
okay. Okay.
Yeah, I know, I get my feed up there in St. Springs. And that place where I go, nobody right there. The only people working in there.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Oh. So we see that, people, they killing up the hospitals here. When they get that one, where they gonna send that? Tulsa. Cause ain't nowhere in the world, these little bitty towns got a hospital that can handle that kind of stuff. But they don't wanna have no mass mandate. Yeah. We're gonna have to start making some priorities. You from Sand Springs? Yeah. You from Tulsa? Yeah. Sorry, Tulsa. You have to make it, you really gonna have a problem with me.
What I can get, you go to these places, instead of them, testing you or something like that, they'll ask you, have you been out of state? Have you been around anybody with the coronavirus? Anybody can lie.
Right,
They can lie and say no, and they got the virus themselves.
right. That's true.
Yeah. Well, I know, a place where I take my wife to going to get her eyes, done and everything, I can go to that service property, then I gotta leave the building. I can't even stay in there. I gotta just stay out of my car. I gotta leave the building.
Yeah.
Only people that they let in that building and all those things is patients. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, just like, last night, Grace called and so I was planning on, going up to, in the waiting room or somewhere, and so, she called and asked me, do you allow, people to come in the waiting room? And the woman specifically said, no, we just, just one person, in the patient. But found out that they are letting folks come in the waiting room.
But you gotta have a mask on you in there.
Well, yeah, that's understandable, but.
There's a lady in there, in the waiting room, she had to leave, because she didn't have a mask on, you can just,
Right.
the security, you got to go. But there, some people don't understand when they say no, they let you know you have a bigger trip. We know you can't go to the wrong thing,
Right.
But they gonna put you no for everything. No, you can't. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything all right with the man?
Yeah, that's merriment, baby.
They made it safely?
Yeah.
Good job.
All right.
Sweetie come through?
Hmm?
Sweetie,
Yeah.
did she come?
And y'all continue to bless us and situations gonna change and things around and all those things there, And like I said, hey, I might not, have authority to certain thing. I said, but I can have authority to you can be around me or something, I tell you. I saw him there. I said, hey, look, you want to holler about you got your right to you run there? I said, hey, look, I got my rights too.
Right.
Call me on the phone. Hey, we all folks got to get ourselves.
That's true.
Remember that you don't say that they said they gonna let the old folks. Yeah, you say what you saying. We got to take that.
Yeah, I think on me in Carolina, one guy died down front, didn't Carolina, white guy.
Yeah, first step in there.
Yeah, he first death is making him. And then a
He
bus
worked at
driver
the
got it,
He
hit
worked in
up
the electric shop.
and one of the bus drivers got it.
I know, they were saying, a lot of young folks, getting in here in Tulsa, but they not telling them where,
Yeah.
they contracted it from.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
See, they keeping that, secret.
Nothing.
Well, I don't understand that.
Red salad died.
Huh?
Red salad.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
When?
that's what David told us. He was 71. I guess it was today or yesterday.
It was today.
What do you, did it say he contracted, coronavirus?
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
Okay.
He's 71.
7 days, yeah, good.
Man.
Well, last night I took be safe. You set the criteria for your safety. Hey, like I said, people want to come on my house and all that stuff, and they don't want to have a mask and all that stuff. Yeah, hey, look, I'll leave them at the door.
Yeah.
Y'all can't come to my house, 'cause my husband ain't gonna let y'all in. He said, you wanna talk at the, by the gate, by the road, and let them know what you want.
Heavily at the top.
Yeah.
Stop at the driveway, that's as far
Huh?
as.
You got a mask at the door, huh?
Thanks to my husband.
You know, therefore, that's what we got to do, you know. Hey,
Yeah.
like I told folks, you know, I talked to them and said, well, if you don't like my rules, hey,
Don't come in.
hey, call on the landline. Come on the phone and stuff like that, you know. And, other than that, yeah, no, but don't come over here and everything and don't want to respect, hey, my rules and everything, you know. No. But dear folks, as I said before, they're finding out that this thing is not no hoax. Trump said, I remember it first said, we got 15, when it first came out, we got 15 counts there, and then that's gonna be down to 0 or nothing in a couple of weeks and everything there. This ain't no big deal and everything there.
Guess what?
Since that over 300,000 people done died.
Yeah.
300,000, I ain't talking about 300, yeah.
We rounded the curve though.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost over.
It is what it is.
Right.
See, and I tell people, I say, when Trump first started running, the things that he had done and said, he never should have been president.
Never.
He never should have been president. And now, the things he done said and done now, when he's trying to get this second term, it shouldn't even be this close.
Nope.
But it is close.
And never, look how close it is.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, it should never be that close, but it
They
is.
both gonna die for all that. Him.
So I wouldn't count him out. He might slip back in there.
All I had to say, whatever happened, whatever he got up there.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because like I say, it shouldn't be this close.
Get out of here.
Stuff he's saying, it shouldn't be this close.
I agree.
I think the reason why all these folks out there voting, they want him out. And I think most of these people voting is Democrats.
Yeah.
Don't put him out. That's right.
Yeah, folks. Y'all in control, that's the thing about it.
Yeah.
And if y'all ain't
Through with him.
through with him,
You gonna go back.
what do y'all call, y'all call him Pharaoh?
There's a Pharaoh.
Hey,
Donald Trump Pharaoh.
that's right, baby. And if God ain't through with him, he gonna go back to that
He's gonna
again.
get back in
He's gonna finish democracy.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Finish democracy. And he gonna be the Prince of Kings. Then he gonna be king.
Yeah.
So just, but see, and you got to watch Trump. You know, we said that United States got to come against Israel. But you know, Trump, he'll change in the middle of the street.
He's already against it.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't gonna shake this up. Him and Netanyahu is at odds with one another. Yes. And the reason why is because Netanyahu imposed a lockdown. That is opposite of what Bush,
Right.
what Trump is doing.
Yeah, okay.
Trump is against lockdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And Netanyahu is pro lockdown.
Yeah.
Trump out, see, we're not alike. See, I would have left it open.
Yeah, right. And so Netanyahu said, hey, I gotta make a decision for our people.
Yeah.
And what I see is, we tried this opening up, and we tried this, and it spiked like mad. When they
Yeah.
opened up, they had the schools back and
Yeah,
all that,
right.
and let those Hasidic Jews and all these Jews go and do what they want to do and all that. Hey, he locked it down, charged them $500. They didn't do those things there, and hey, and now I think you said it. You said today that there are what you call them went down. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even Dr. Fauci said if we just gave this a month or 2 months, we'd see the stuff going down. If everybody would just wear a mask.
I remember when it first came out, I talked to somebody over there in Sierra Leone. They had total lockdown for 1 month when it first came out, and locked down the airport, everything. And theirs went down to 0. They had 14 cases of the entire country. And when you come in, they check you. If you got it, then you got to stay in quarantine for the 14 days or whatever before you come in the population. So they're very strict. You
Well,
know.
see, that's what anybody. See, that's what he want to give Biden on. He said Biden is for locking it down. Y'all, what do you call him? Basement dwellers. Biden.
With that big mask.
Yeah.
I'd rather be a basement dweller and alive than to be out and dead. You know.
There you go. Therefore, dear folks, but as he said there, and I agree with him on that there, this race is tighter what you think.
Yes, I did it.
But I say, hey, look, I tell folks, hey, you gotta go out and vote. If you feel like you wanna do that, go out and vote. Hey, do those things there.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed, that's your right. And, I'm not against that there. But nevertheless, God's will is gonna be taken care of. All right, we're gonna ask you to bow your heads now for our tonight, Baraka. Bless we are our God, King of universe, who has given us the Torah, the writings and the prophets, and the great Shah by thy great spirit, and have commanded us to diligently teach them unto our children, unto our people, and all people of the earth. And let all Israel say, Amen. This week's Torah reading is taken from the book of Genesis, gather sheet, the 12th chapter, starting at the first verse, through the 17th chapter, and the 27th verse. That is Genesis 12:1 through the 17th chapter, and the 27th verse. The Haftorah reading is taken from the book of Isaiah, the 40th chapter, starting at the 27th verse, through the 41st chapter, and the 16th verse. That is Isaiah 40:27 through 41:16. This week's Parashah is Parashah 3, which is Lekh L'kha, means get out for your sake. Our scripture reading, which we take from the Haftorah reading, which we given by Shamash. Let us give him 100 of attitude that he do what we are to us.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
Our scripture reading is taken from the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter. Isaiah 14. Isaiah 41.
All right.
Yeah. Isaiah 41. And starting at the 8th verse through the 16th verse. Yeah, starting at the 8th verse through 16th verse. But you, Israel, my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, descendants of Abraham, my friend, I have taken you from the ends of the earth, summoned you from its most distant parts, and said to you, you are my servant. I have chosen you, not reject you. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be distressed, for I am your God. I gave you strength. I give you help. I support you with my victorious right hand. All those who were angry with you will be disgraced, put to shame. Those who fought against you will be destroyed, brought to nothing. You will seek them, but not find them. Those who contend with you, yes, those who made war with you, will be brought to nothing, nothing at all. For I, Adonai, your God, say to you, as I hold your right hand, have no fear. I will help you. Have no fear, Yaakov, you whom you need, you men of Israel. I will help you, says Adonai. Your Redeemer is the Holy One of Israel. I will make you into a threshing sledge, new with sharp pointed teeth, to thrash the mountains and crush them to dust, to reduce to the hills to shaft, to reduce the hills to shaft. As you fan them, the wind will carry them off, and the whirlwind will scatter them. Then you will rejoice in Adonai. You will glory in the Holy One of Israel. Now y'all have a special blessing to read them.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, test. All right. As we go back over and as we understand the dealings of God and everything, this should also help us to deal with all other situations and things that we're going forth. The enemy is no fool, and as he's been successful in certain things there, and he's going to keep wearing it out. And as long as, as they said, if it ain't broke, don't tinker with it, all those things there. And so, he's got certain odds and up on mankind, and if we don't go through the proper procedure, see, and then let's say, we all want to go this, I want to do it this way, I don't think I have to do it that way, I don't think hey, y'all have a certain way. He says, without the shedding of blood, there is no remission. Hey, but there are people thinking, I'll get done this, I can get that. I don't need that. Now, just go to Genesis 12. And God had to start a selection over again in dealing with mankind. He started out with Adam. Adam failed the test. So God now got Noah, see, to continue on mankind. But even at that, man got corrupted again. I think there was a question that was asked. Did mankind wasn't, after God did that, mankind wasn't, yep. So you had to see how God still had to choose among mankind because if he'd have sent somebody else that was not there, if he'd have sent an angel, if he sent somebody else there, then Satan would say, hey, after what you done and all those things there, I still defeated your image.
Yeah,
And y'all ain't going for that.
yeah, bragging rights.
Y'all ain't going for that.
No, he didn't want no bragging rights on him.
So now, among man, God had to select a man. Start a generation of men. And we're going to go to Genesis 12 and start reading the first 3 verses of Genesis 12.
Now Adonai said to Abram, get yourself out of your country, away from your kindred, and away from your father's house, and go to the land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation.
Now I want you to understand, why did he have to leave? Why did he have to? How come he just didn't stay there and do it? Why did he have to leave? See? Too much baggage. Too much drag. Yeah.
Too much terrible kinfolk.
Exactly.
When you're dead and making iron God.
That's right.
Had all that weight on him.
That's right.
You can't. So he said, hey, in order for you to do this here and all those things, you have to get away from your kinfolk. Because they got too much pull on you. And she said, too much competition. And if you stay around and all, that's why God said, leave them Canaanite women alone. It wasn't because of their color. It wasn't because of the good looks. It wasn't because of their one thing, that they influence. And he told the men to leave them women alone, and told the women to leave those men alone. Because they will. Ain't no, well, they might do it, and I know. They will do it.
They will take you away from me.
That's why he told Abraham, you got to get out here.
That's right.
I'm selecting you. I've seen something in you. And I want to promote that. See? I want to plant that. I want to fertilize that. I want to grow that. But you can't do it with all this surrounding stuff. It's just like when you go out there and plant a garden there. We had one of the brothers do that there. Yeah, I'm just going to plant this and you can get out there and do the weed and all that stuff there. It didn't work out. Right?
That's right.
Yeah. Why? Because God calls the weeds and the thistles and all that to come up to rob you. And it ain't going to fail this job. See? Therefore, if you want to do those things, you want to get out there by the sweat of your brow. You want to do some work, and you want to do something to get that stuff out of there. See? But if we had never sinned in the first place and everything, we wouldn't have that problem. But that's another story altogether. But here, he says that I'm selecting you. And but this I want you to do here. And then this is the promise I'm going to give to you. Read that again.
He said, away from your kinsmen, away from your father's house.
There you go.
And go to the land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation. I will bless you, and I will make your name great.
Now, that's what God had to, and that's what I was talking about. God had to choose another man to start a whole new family of people among mankind. Can y'all follow what I'm saying? Can you follow this? And the reason why he had to do that is because Satan wouldn't get the victory. See? God could have started all over and everything, but then Satan would have said, and God said, no, you ain't gonna get that. But in order for those things to work and to do those things there, they had to leave. That ain't easy to do there, folks.
Sure ain't.
That ain't some easy thing to do. See? But he told him, this what I got in mind for you, this is the requirement it's going to take. See?
So, I guess Abraham and his daddy was very wealthy, wasn't they?
Oh, yeah.
They weren't no folks.
No. See?
They're making a lot of money off them.
Yeah.
They were rich, right?
Yeah.
Had a nice home. See?
They was the makers.
Why she had a nice setup, a nice home and setup and everything else? And just imagine how she feel when you would come home and told her that. Honey, you gotta give up all of this.
We going to the poorhouse?
Oh man, I can't have. Like I said, I remember well, I have both of my wives there. Television went out, boy, hey. There wasn't no piece that I had to go get a television. I had to get a television in that house, boy. I mean, because it used to that kind of, man, no. And boy, they got my uncle worked on television and stuff. I had to go and get one from him and stuff there. Boy, I wouldn't get no peace in the house. See? Then when the electric went out there over to the house, then we didn't have no what you call that. My wife, boy, she was cutting up, boy. I got the house. Man, I had to go dig out my old radio thing there. I got one of the battery operated. Yep. And dig it all out there. Then she was all right then after that. Other than that, boy, she was. I said, what you want me to do? I said, ain't no phone because we ain't got no electric. I got to have some. I got that. Man, I had to go dig that bad boy up, boy. Good thing I had some batteries, as I showed you. Yeah, got them all done there, and it's been a while since I used this, so I forgot exactly how to do it, and it wouldn't work and everything. I said, oh, no, so I got everything, yeah. But in order for it to work, you got to pull the electric plug, you got to pull a cord out. You know, it's plugged in, and so it switches it over there. And if you put the electric cord in there and everything, you know, all that, it automatically think it's gonna get the juice from the electric. And so it wouldn't change over. I said, no, these batteries, I had a little meter, had to get my meter out, man, I had to check each battery, and that thing held like 6 batteries or something like that. I had to go to check each battery, it was all right. Finally dawned on me, pull it out there, and then we switched over to the battery. And then it started working and everything, and she was happy. But I just said that to say that you get used to certain things, and it's hard to leave that stuff alone. But here God will put it up front. He said, you're going to leave all that. You're going to leave all that you're accustomed to. You're going to leave all that. But this is what I have in mind for you to do. Now you got a decision got to come with you, and come with all of us. See? What decision you gonna make? And if you don't value the thing properly, I know what decision you gonna make. See? If you don't decide the offer that I'm offering you is better than what you got, you ain't going nowhere. Right?
Right.
I remember when I was a little boy and everything there, but I learned the value of money. And they came there and one guy said, hey, which one you want here? You want this nickel or you want this dime? See? But if you look at a nickel is bigger than a dime. Dynamically, and so they were sitting there they were sitting in that little contest, they were sitting in the contest of which one you gonna pick, you know. So some of them say, I remember my grandfather and all that around, they said, yeah, some of them say, yeah, he gonna pick that nickel. He gonna pick that nickel. I did that with my nephew and he picked cause it's gonna go by the, you know, little kids and everything, you just gonna go by the size. Yeah, but I have a little bit more knowledge. I was younger, but I have some knowledge. So when they put that up there and everything, I took that dime. You know, and they try to talk about it. They say, hey, don't you want this bigger corn than? And I think I really kind of broke one. I said, hey, look, I want the most valuable. I said, boy, that other boy, he's just too smart, you know. Well, they just know, you know. So we got, you know, you can't value things and you can't make choice of things just because of the size. You better understand the value of it. See? You can have your big old piece of glass for a gem. They with a dime, the value of it, and little bitty thing, that's kind of countless see it, a true diamond, and that's more valuable than that big old glass. So size will always generate the thing. So it is with God. We have to evaluate what God has offered us. And as he said, Abraham was rich and those things there. His father was rich and all that. So he wasn't no poor man. And God said, you got to give all that up. And value being what? What he said he's going to do for him?
He said, get yourself out of your country, away from your kindred, and away from your father's house, and go to a land that I will show you. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you, and I will make your name great, and you are to be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, but I will curse anyone who curses you. And by you, all the families of the earth will be blessed.
That was a big promise. Yes.
I mean, how did Abraham talk to Yah? I mean, did he hear a voice from the sky or did he see a vision?
I don't know.
It just says God said to him, but
yeah,
what way did he receive it?
I don't know.
I wonder about that a lot.
Yeah. Could be telepathy or what, I mean, you know, I don't know. But he knew that he was communicating. He was hearing the voice. He was hearing those things that whether he cared about thought or what, a voice come to him. See?
Yeah, I would say that if it probably was a voice, because I'm saying, you know, if it, you know, you're hearing something in your mind, you might be wondering, okay, now, are these my thoughts? or is it someone else?
I literally hear voices, you know.
Right.
I literally talk to voice. Yes.
Well, if you go all the way back to Genesis, in the cool of the day, that Yah spoke, and it was the voice was of Yah was walking in the garden. So that may be the same way he communicated with Abraham, by, like you said, by the voice, and that voice is powerful. It might come to your mind, or this might be audible to you only, but not to everybody else.
Well, it's just like, you know, some have night vision, some get in a trance, and so I don't know, but they said that it was a communication there,
Correct.
and God was talking to him. Whichever way, I can't say, you know, but he knew it was Yah, and so he, you know. Now, here's the thing: that ain't the hard part. That's the easy part. There, you can hear that stuff. You can hear it. See, read on. Let's see what the hard part comes in.
So Abraham went, and Adonai had said to him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran.
Now, notice this. Here's the tough part. He said, he did, and that's the point I want you to get. He said, he did according to what he wanted to do. Huh? All right. How did he leave? See? He left according to God's rules, as well as he understood. See? That's exactly what it was. So, he said he left the country, had to get out of there. And like I said, in leaving, he had to get rid of a lot of stuff. Yes.
Isn't it kind of curious to you, this man here has never heard a voice talking to him, all those idols and stuff around him. I mean, just hear somebody talking to you hearing a voice, and you don't know who it is. Did the voice say who I am? He just start talking. He didn't say, well, I am God, blah, 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 blah. Well, he just say, go. He just gave a command to go somewhere without even introduce who he was. Correct?
Well, no, here's the thing. Just because you read the Bible, but if you read in other writings and everything, this is not the only relationship that he had with God.
Oh, okay.
This ain't there are other incidents that happened.
Okay.
Yeah, Abraham, he knew God.
See, and there was things that proved out that no, because you know with the idols and stuff, certain things that happened. and so Abraham had to understand that this can't be right here. I mean, you get told because of a reason. See, so he had a curiosity and stuff, you know, that he had some understanding that, hey, this can't be like it is here. He said, I make them. How in the world are they gonna be gods and I'm the one making them? I'm sitting up and seeing my daddy make them. And these people run around how about they're gods and all that. What kind? He had no sense to know that can't be good. Get into it with the father about it and everything, you know. So and this ain't the first time that those things happen. He had occasions to deal with him on that. Okay. And but he went forth out, and you have to do what God say do. That's the point I want you to see. God always has a criteria. You know, there's always a requirement. He says, I'm gonna do all this for you, but here's what you gotta do. You know, brother. Now, if you would have done what God told him to do and everything, that you think your God would have done on a blessing? No. Our God, can tell you, our God is not desperate. So let's see what happened.
Abram took his wife, Sarah, his brother's son, Lot, and all their possessions, which they had accumulated, as well as the people they had required in Haran. Then they set out for the land of Canaan, and entered the land of Canaan. Abram passed through the land to the place called Shechem, to the Morah. Oh, yeah, Morah. The Canaan, yeah. Where then, in the land, Adonai appeared to Abram and said, to your descendants, her, to your seed, I will give this land. So he built an altar there to Adonai, who had appeared to him.
Now notice this. This said that Yah appeared unto him. So again, I don't know what form the appearance that he came forth in. A lot of times they come in the form of man. He said some have entertained angels unaware. They take the form of man.
Yeah.
See? And therefore they appeared, and so naturally that would be because if you appeared as some other thing, I mean, it scare you. See? So he appeared to him, as a man, and he talked with him, and he told him that for you doing these things here, God will work more with us when we work more with him. See? And therefore, that's what he told him. Go forth and we'll do those things there, and we'll get those things in line. And so, but you got to first start out obeying him for God to even move forward more. And that's what I'm saying. God will always give you the full thrust of everything at one time. He makes it out that we might live by faith. See? I'm going to see if you're going to step forward here. I'm going to see if you're going to leave your relatives alone. I'm going to see if you're going to leave your kinfolks alone. I'm going to see if you're going to follow this here. How will you going to follow this here and those things there? Read on.
He left that place, went to the hill east of Bethel, and pitched in the tent with Bethel to the west, and unto Ai to
Right.
the east. He built an altar there and called on the name of Adonai. Then Abram traveled on continually toward the Negev. But there was a famine in the land, so Abram went down to Egypt.
Now, here's what I want you to get. Just because you're following what God has said, and just because you don't mean you ain't on a hardship. Here's something that we got to get in us. We got to understand this. Because if you're doing everything right, everything there, why is so happening to you? You ever heard me say that to you? You ever heard that? Well, if you were doing everything right, you wouldn't have this here. If you was doing everything right, your car wouldn't break down. It's a car.
It's gonna break down sooner or later. That's right, it's a car.
People say, well, if you all with God and everything, then you wouldn't be hurt, you wouldn't be doing it. You're getting old. You can't do what you used to do when you were young. See? I had to learn it the hard way there. Hey, we was over there in Tennessee over there. And Mason, my son there, and then Brother Miles and all that. We was all in the room there. They were all down doing exercise and everything here. And, you know, before they go to bed and everything, they gotta get work in and work out and everything, boy. So I had to jump down there. I said, hey, I can do it too. I did it. I did it. But the next morning, when they got ready to get up and everything, yeah, Mason and my son, they jumped up just like ain't nothing happened. Man, they had to roll me out of the bed. we tried to call Brother Miles and you know, he said, I'll let y'all handle that. He said, I'll let you have a little wisdom. He said, I'll let y'all have that. He laid on the bed. She's wise.
I like to think of myself as still young, but I find myself saying sometimes I miss the good old days. I'm like, what? The good old days? I know I'm still young, ain't I? But it's a lot of things still at this age where I can't do what I used to do.
Your mother will let you know. Huh? Your mother will let you know.
I did like you too. I hopped underneath these weights. I thought I had enough underneath there where I could get it up. And I got it off the bar. And I was with Lil Mason and my friend Zach. And I got it off the bar. Help me.
So you didn't go up, huh?
I said, maybe if I would have did it quick and not held it so long, maybe I could have got it up. But I said it's so serious. Help. And they gonna laugh at me.
We ain't pumped it once. You need help.
So let me go ahead and take a selfie. Let me go ahead and take a couple weights off the side and work with that. I got that one up 10 times good.
Yeah.
But our body will let you know what time it is.
So therefore, what I'm saying is that things do happen in those situations now, and don't let the enemy do those things. Hey, if Abraham was all that righteous and he following all that, why would he have any trouble? Everything should go along good for him. Everything shouldn't have no heart attack. No, it don't work that way.
Oh yeah, they hit me with that all the time. He ain't talking about the main thing wrong.
What's that?
Sometimes we do bring a lot of stuff around. Okay? So this is why when I pray and everything there, I pray that y'all fix me and everything there and heal me and everything there, but also, teach me the better way to do stuff.
Right?
See? And I told y'all what happened to me and everything, well, y'all know because I was right here preaching. Now, how you gonna do anything better than that there? I'm over there preaching.
Right?
Next thing you know, bam, I'm out. I'm out. Okay? Next thing you know, I'm waking up in the hospital. They ask me, where you at and everything. Now, y'all see I did some other stuff that I don't know. I don't remember none of that. See, when I fully came through and everything, they would ask me, do you know where you at and everything? I looked around. I said, yeah. Because I'm used to that hospital because I go up there a lot and everything. I said, oh, yeah, I'm in the emergency room here.
You was talking big nose in the ambulance. giving the wrong answers. Still trying to act like Mr. Tuffy and giving all the way the wrong
I
answers.
don't remember none of that. Yeah. I don't even remember the
I knew
rhyme.
you was trying to act Tuffy.
Oh, he was talking.
Well, you know, because we kept asking the question, we kept asking, who's the president? Jimmy Carter.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just giving an example.
Yeah, right. I
You
got
know
you.
what I'm saying? Yeah, you giving wrong answers. So I'm like, look at him, he's still trying to act Tuffy. And you didn't even remember.
But then again, even at those things there, you get upset with things. After I got there and everything, and they get people come in and ask me about this thing, to ask me about that, and I call myself, I give them an answer. They want to know whether you fall, did you hit your head, and they want to know all that, and they did that, you know. So they want to check all that out and everything. And I said, oh, I'm all right and everything. Yeah. My daughter, she kept on pushing me. Yeah, but he was so and so. I said, why don't you be quiet?
Would you be quiet?
Yeah, I didn't say a lot. I said to Rogelio. I said, no, oh, she. I'm kind of glad I did now. I said, that would have been. I said, oh, she be quiet.
I knew you was still trying to act like Mr. Tuffy. Yep, I was telling them. I was telling all of them.
Yeah, she told all of it, and it's a good thing. Because then I found out what I was doing wrong. Found out what I was doing wrong. And it's to go to show you, God did bless me that first time when I went down and all that. Then the next time, because I didn't know that information and stuff, I locked up. I was on my way down. But I had a problem with some of them. Y'all said that I sat there and I wasn't saying nothing. And then y'all rushed up here to me there and get me set down over there and everything down. And that was one of the time I said, hey, look, I done got blessed and recovered from that. We get to see the same thing. Why did the same thing hit again? Because I was doing the same thing. Lord, I thought you didn't heal me from that. I thought you didn't take care. I did take care of your brother. I did. But you go over there, hey, you take a knife and cut your hand down, and Lord, heal me up and everything, and heal it up and everything, and you won't get a knife and cut it again. What you think will happen?
I still do it too. I still do it to this day. Test myself and see what I'm capable of and know my limitations because I want to know. I'm still getting older, so I want to know what I'm capable of, man.
Well,
but I make sure I don't try to risk too much. But I make sure I start out with baby stuff, some wisdom, seeing what I'm capable of.
there you go. You better use some wisdom.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Therefore, we see that these are the same things that go forth. So, he told them to go forth and everything? Yes. He had troubles. Wasn't because he was doing something wrong and everything, why he ran into trouble. No, that was part of the test. That was part of it. See, the enemy come against you. But I'm glad that those things happened. I'm glad my daughter did push it for it. Although I was upset, but I'm glad she did do those things because if she hadn't done it, I probably still been up here doing the same thing and falling out and stuff. And one of these times could have been dangerous to fall out there, hit your head against something, and really should have hurt you. God bless me that it didn't fall or hit nothing. But now that they found out exactly what it was and those things, I ain't had a problem since. I ain't even felt that 6 months. I ain't had it because now I know what to do. See?
Move around.
Yeah. That's what they told me to do. Stop locking up my knees. Stop doing it. You know, I didn't know the proper way.
Plus, you got some backup now, too. You got some backup.
Well, the point of it is that still, the backup was sitting there at the wall. They ain't going to do heaven none if I'm just doing the same thing. They catch me. Yeah. Yeah, they catch me. But I'd rather have a backup. I'd rather have what I got now where, hey, I ain't got to be worried about getting caught. Yeah.
What else you got there if you get
when you see me moving around and stuff, and I'm making sure that I don't get into that situation again. Knowledge is better than all that prevention stuff. But nevertheless, I just said that to say this here. When he took off and got ready to go and do those things there, he ran into hardship, ran into a famine. But I thought he was out doing God's will. I thought he was out on God's journey and following what God said. And why would he get into a famine? See? All these things are part of the enemy. The enemy will bring things on us and those things there to test your faithfulness.
I got an MRI Monday.
See? How strong you is about those things. How well you gonna listen to what I've got to say. And so, therefore, we see that he had a famine, and what happened?
He left that place, went to the hill east of Bethel, and pitched his tent with Bethel on the west, and to the east. He built an altar there and called on the name of Adonai. Then Abram traveled on, continuing toward the Negev. But there was a famine in the land. And Abram went down to Egypt to stay there because of the famine in the land was severe. When he came close to Egypt and was about to enter, he said to Sarah, his wife, "Hear now, I know that you are a good-looking woman, so that when the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This is his wife,' and kill me, but keep you alive. Please say that you are my sister, so that it will go well with me for your sake."
All right. Sometimes we gotta use some wisdom, therefore. So it's good to know what people you get involved with. That's why it ain't safe, and especially nowadays, it ain't safe to be jumping in the cars with folks and stuff that you don't know the word later. Hey, one of them guys told me, hey man, you need to ride every day. He looked over there. No man, I'm all right. I'm out to get some exercise. Yeah, I'm about to get that car. You got some of these young boys be driving all kind of crazy. Matter of fact, the other day, what was that who did that? Guy was just weaving inside and out, man, and running down the middle of the road and stuff. Have you ever seen where they just? Yeah, right. We was going to get the van. Yeah, I mean, you just see. Around, if you got heart trouble, then you riding in with them, man, they get your heart attack and stuff. Just see somebody,
Oh, yeah. It's kind of hinting on what we was talking about in our class. We was on the subject of cultures, and we was discussing that let them know the culture of, if you going someplace, you better know, the culture of those people.
Yeah, that was a cousin, right? And that was a good example of big better know something ahead of time. There you go. See?
If they know you my wife, they might kill me, tell you my sister.
And Mike too, they would. They had the reputation of doing that. You had a good looking wife and everything. Hey, yeah. Like us, you want her? Right? Yeah, yeah, but she got a husband, not for long.
Ooh, that's great.
Right.
we'll take care of that. You I told you what happened with the Israel over there and everything there. The guy lied my sister there, and he kept on. He was kind of a little scared. He was kind of a little scared to say something, you know. And so we finally got around there, and first he asked me. He said, "That's your wife?" So I get to learn how. I said, "Oh no." I said, "No." I said, "That's my sister." Oh man, he lining up then. He lied up then. Hey, then he said, "Hey, I like her. I like you. And we can make a deal. Hey, how much you want for that?" You know? Oh man. I said, "Well," I said, "That might work out pretty good and everything for me and everything now." I said, "But I don't think it worked out too good for her husband, no." Oh, she married. I said, "Oh yeah, she married." I didn't need that. No, I just, and that was in '95. They were talking way back. That was in '95. You know, to the homeland over there in Israel. And so you need to know the custom. You know, and just like they told you, when you go down, they tell you certain things to do and don't do. Yeah? And so when you go there and everything there, don't look at that person in the eye and do those things there, because if you do, that's a signal to them. See? And that's exactly what they'll do too. You have to do certain things. Okay, especially if you pack a little case or something in there, they over there snatch it out your hand. You think they're gonna steal it? No, they ain't gonna steal it. They snatch out the way, walk about 2 blocks and everything and put it down. Pay me. Yeah. You gotta pay them for they render a service to you. They pack your bags. They pack the bags. So he said the best way to do it is that when they look at you like that now, you don't look at them, look down. So all I'm saying is that what she said is true. What y'all was talking about is true. You better know where you're at. You better know what condition. You better know what situation you're in before you go jump into a situation. Okay? You go to some of these countries over there and everything, and you think that you all right there, and then you go over there, you marry a whole village of people. Oh no! I'm just married. Oh no! Now you got to take all this extended family and extended family and all. Oh yeah, but once they get you over there, you ain't got no other choice. They take you out to the beating post. But nevertheless, he knew he had, and so he had to come up to him. A man of God, and those things there, them shootings having problems? Yes, dear folks. Don't let nobody lead you into that lie. Don't let nobody lead you into those things, thinking that those things will not happen. Well, you said, well, I was back there. You know, all those things there. But what did Mashiach say? Since we don't get Mashiach here, we ain't got to worry about that kind of stuff. You know, you got to deal with that. We'll go to Mark, the 10th chapter of Mark. And see how things work. Surely things will be different from that time. I mean, the Mashiach came now. Hey, whole lot different now. We ain't got to do all that stuff there. You know, read that story, read those things. We go over these Parashahs every year and everything, and we dwell on certain aspects of it and all that there. But hey, I want you to see that hey, it didn't matter that he was following what God said do it. He had hardship. He had things that happened to him. Then, like I said, your body let you know that you can't do nothing. I used to play basketball and stuff, had to get out there and roll my ankle and stuff there. I could walk around. Next thing you know, matter of fact, before the game was over, I'm back in the playing. Yeah. But I hit them 40s, roll my ankle and stuff, did that there. Hey, I was gone for a couple of days. Got on a little later than that there. Hit them 50s. I was on crutches for the same thing. I could run, walked off everything for the same incident. Everything. I got on crutches and walk on crutches for 2 weeks. I said, well, if this happened in 40s, did you work in the 50s? I said, I ain't testing the water to see what's gonna happen next. After being on that crutches for that 2 weeks. I said, I ain't testing the water. I said, I think it's time to give up on this basketball. Got to use some wisdom. See? Read online, you got that? All right. Oh, okay, all right, verse, all right. That's Mark, the 10th chapter, starting at the 17th verse.
As he was starting on his way, a man ran up, kneeled down in front of him. Why are you calling me good? No one is good except Yah. You know the you know the testimony. Don't defer honor. Your father and mother. Rabbi, he said, I have kept all these since I was a boy. Joshua looking at him, felt love for him. Felt love for the felt love for the poor. And you will have riches in heaven. Then come.
Yeah. Go back on the other again. He felt love.
What? I got you new Bible.
Oh, okay.
He said, I kept all.
Yeah, I kept all of them, right?
He said, I kept all these since I was a boy. Joshua looking at him and felt love for him.
There you go. Let's stop right there. When he said that, hey, I did this. If you read King James Version, it says that, why callest thou me good? You know, he was asked the question, what should I do to have eternal life? So the Mashiach was answering, he said, if you will enter into life, keep the commandments. Then he said, well, which ones? So he started telling him, honor your father and your mother. You know, do this. He said, oh, I've done that since I've been a little sprout. Just like our children have the advantage of us. They've did things and they've compounded the situation ever since they've been small. We can't make that statement. But that still ain't the whole, that ain't the fullness of it. That gives you an advantage. But there's still something that you gotta go through. There's still something that you gotta tolerate with. You gotta deal with. Everyone's got to deal with that. See? But Yahshua loved him for that. See? And yet he asked him a question. Read on that now. Let's see what he asked.
Felt love for him. You're missing one thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't sell whatever you own. Give to the poor and you will have riches in heaven.
Oh, wait a minute now.
Then come, follow me.
All right, now. Ain't that the very same thing? Ain't that what Abraham had to do? The Bible, even the rabbis and all said that Abraham had a nice home. Sarah had a nice home and stuff. Hey, he had to leave that nice home and go live in a tent. They didn't have no mobile homes back in them days. Your mobile home was your tent. See? And so that was a big letdown from a nice home and everything now to go live in a tent and to travel in a tent. So he had to get that up and come follow me. Dear folks, that's the same thing it is now. Even coming today and the following y'all and everything there are certain things you got to give up. You can't maintain your ways. You can't maintain your buddies. These are my homies and all that stuff. No. You gotta let them homies go. Because them homies ain't no good influence on you. That's why Abraham, as you said, that's why Abraham had to leave his kindred and get away from them, because there was no bad influence on them. Your homies is bad influence on you. They're gonna tip you with stuff that ain't right. You trying to get your life together, and then hey. What you talking about? Hey, I had a cousin. He up in the hospital. Because of OD on drugs. His homies sneaked up there in the hospital. These doctors don't know what you need. I know what you need and everything. Slipped him some drugs up there, and he took it. Next thing you know, the family having a funeral.
They should have locked him up.
See? Next thing you know, the family having a funeral. This actually happened. This truly happened. So therefore, when God said you got to get away from this and you got to get away from that, he actually thought he was doing him a favor. He actually thought he was doing something good for him. Huh? No, because it was hard to prove anything now. Because he slipped up there and down. All they know is that, hey, yeah, when he happened and everything, they found out that he had the enemy and everything, and they didn't know where he got it from and all that. And then there was nothing to do about it. You can't prove it, And plus that they didn't force him to take it. You see what I mean? It'd be different if he went there and shot him up and forced him to do it. He didn't force him to do it. Probably did, but I wouldn't say you're right. And bring the story to me. I hate. So therefore, we got to get away from all that bad influence. You got some of your buddies that all they want to do is come on and all it up. Hey man, hey, got my ball right in there. Hey, if you trying to cut loose from all that stuff there, hey, you want to cut loose from them. If you don't cut loose from them, they're gonna have you back all in again.
I got your favorite oil.
Yep, that's exactly right. They know what to say. They know what to do. That's why God told him, you got to get away from your kindred. You got to get away from that situation. Come along with the Mashiach. Mashiach say, there's one thing that you gotta do here. You're doing all this other stuff, but there's one other thing you got to do. He said, you got to get rid of your riches. See, because the riches that you get you in a different class of folks. And in that class of folks and everything, you can't follow God fully. That's what he told me. He said, you like one thing. What was that? What did he say? Go sell?
Yeah, he said, told him that, I have kept all of these since I was a boy. Y'all should look at him and feel love for him and said to him, you're missing one thing. Go sell whatever you have. Give to the poor, and you will have riches in heaven. Then come follow me.
I don't have no riches in heaven.
He was shocked by this word. He went away sad.
Went away sad.
Because he was a wealthy man.
Ah, there you go. When God told Abraham, go get rid of all that, leave the country, leave all that stuff alone, and leave all that there, and go to a country where I will, he had to make a decision. He offered this young man an opportunity to come follow him, be one of his disciples, and he turned it down because he was wealthy. So, dear folks, the requirements stay the same. When we come to Yah and all those things there, it don't matter, you still got to make a decision. Okay? And people say, well, salvation don't cost me nothing. Yes, it do. It costs you everything. It costs you this life, this world of life. It costs you that. And if you can't afford to get that up, you ain't gonna make it. That's exactly right. Because our God is not desperate. See? Read on.
You're missing one thing. Go sell whatever you own, give to the poor, and you will have riches in heaven. Then come follow me. By this word, he went away and said, because he was a wealthy man. Joshua looked around and said to his disciples, how hard it is going to be for how hard is it going to be for people with wealth to enter the kingdom of God?
It's going to be a task. It's going to be a hard problem. Everybody in the situation can't come to God because they ain't willing to do what it takes to be able to do that. He says that's a hard thing. That was a hard thing that was asked of Abraham. But he got it done. And I have to commend his wife, Sarah. I have to commend her. She was a lady because she could have made it harder. Abraham, what did you say you're going? I don't know really where I'm going. Well, I'll tell you what. When you get there and get settled in, and then send for me. But I ain't leaving my beautiful house and everything for some place in there. You know where you're going. But she didn't do that. She didn't do that. She was willing to work with her husband. See? Therefore, if you know that the company that you're dealing with and those things there is not good company for you, why you keep running around? Ain't gonna help you out now. Read on, let's see what happens.
Okay. The time of day was assigned. At these words, but Joshua said to them again, my friend, how hard is it to enter the kingdom of God? it is easy for a camel to pass through the needle's eye than a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. They were utterly amazed and said to him, then who can be saved? Joshua looked at them and said, humanly, yes, humanly it is impossible, but not with God. With God, everything is possible.
There you go.
People began saying to him, look, we have left everything and followed you. Joshua said, yes, I tell you that there is no one who has left house, brother, sister, mother, father, children, or fail my for yes, for my sake and for the sake of the good news. Who will not receive 100 times over now in the yeah.
Will come.
And okay, home, brothers, sisters, mother, children, and land with persecution, and in the world of come inner life, but many who are fast, many who are first will be last.
There you go.
And many who are last will be first.
There you go.
That's the 31st.
That Mark 10?
Yeah, Mark 10.
Here we see that a choice has to be made. You know, it hasn't changed. It's still the same. As the Messiah comes, it's still the same. You either gonna live by faith or you ain't. And you gotta make a decision about it. What are you willing to give up? Go to Galatians, the 3rd chapter. Galatians, the 3rd chapter. And you start reading the 6th verse. And you get there. The Messiah said, yeah, you got to do some things. Yes, it's going to cost you. He said, but I guarantee you, God has something better for you. Yeah. You done gave up this and you done gave up that there. Hey, that, it won't be in vain. But we got to believe that it ain't going to be in vain. We got to accept the fact that, hey, this is what's going to happen. See? And if you don't believe that, if you don't accept that, then that's where you come out wrong. Right? Therefore, let us follow through on those things there, that it might be well with us. On that in there, and we got to make that decision here. What God is offering us. Is it worth it or not? See? I ain't giving up my sisters and brothers. I ain't giving up this here. I'm not giving up my homies. I ain't giving up my friends. And I ain't. Okay, then, what they got to offer for you? Okay? You can't get it all. Okay? Read on. Galatians 3, 6 through 9.
It was the same with Abraham. He trusted in God and was faithful to him.
He trusted in God, not himself, not his riches, not his wealth. And it was counted to him for righteousness. Read on.
And that was counted to his account as righteousness. Be assured then that it is those who believe by trusting and being faithful, who are really children of Abraham.
There you go. Dear folks, as Paul was admonishing them to be the same, I'm admonishing you today. See, as we wrap up this Parashah today, what are you willing to give up to follow Yah? See, everyone is going to have to give up something to follow Him, because the world has an offer for something else different. See? Be like our forefather Abraham. Whatever it takes, give it up. That Yah might be, that we might go for Yah's value. This is our Parashah for this week here. May Yah bless you and keep you on that end there. And as our OPLs, how should we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? If I forget the Yerushalayim, let my right hand forget her cunning. Remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Yerushalayim, above my chief joy. Psalm 137, verses 5 and 6. Okay, when I turn the hands of the service, I'll be Shamash to hold out the service for today.